Welcome to What Are We Doing? Because what the fuck are we doing here? Am I a pig? Am I a pig? Do I eat from a trough? Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm not a customizable fuck burger, okay? I'm a beautiful... I'm Wagyu, okay? I'm a beautiful sirloin. The world is on fire. And people are too busy watching whale rape to take their head out of the ocean, okay? I'll tell you what I'm doing here, okay? I'm screaming into the void, and if you don't like it, you can fuck your own face, okay? How about that? How many episodes of Masterpiece Mystery do I have to be forced to watch before I throw my aunt in a burlap sack and toss her into the river? Don't be mad, okay? It's not about you, alright? But it is. And I'm joking, but I'm not. Alright? It's Succession. But dumb and poor and gay, like you. You're not the Marquis of New Jersey. You're a Halitosis skinbat witch on Percocet. Welcome to the show, scumbag. All I want is a hawk and a gun. Okay, a hawk, a boat, and a gun. Is that too much to ask? Is finding God in the ocean too much to ask? Welcome back to my little show. This little thing that I do so I don't blow my fucking brains out. Okay? For God. First of all, little shout out to Curvin working fucking downstairs in my building. There's this Halitosis cigarette ghoul that works in the like office downstairs, okay? And he's totally cracked out of his fucking face. He hides candy behind his desk like a child. The candy that's supposed to go to like the home, which actually I don't even agree with anyway. I don't know why we're giving candy to homeless people. It's kind of insane. How about like, I don't know, a housing voucher? But, you know, whatever. I guess a Snickers will do. It's fine. Left Twix. You know? A Three Musketeers will alleviate the deep-seated pain of homelessness for a day, I guess. Fucking lunatics. Anyway, he hides the candy behind his desk that's supposed to be going to the homeless people that live in this building. Okay? And, well, that's kind of a contradiction. The recently homeless people that... Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. He's hiding the candy behind the desk like a fucking slob, okay? And I've had enough. I want a Kit Kat sometimes, okay, Curvin? And I don't want it behind your fucking desk so that you could pig out and do nothing, alright? He has, like, a big box of chips that he just, like, hides under his desk and, like, just, I guess, eats them. Like, they're supposed to be for the people that live in this building. They're not supposed to be for you, you piglet, okay? I walk in there to fill up my water bottle. I go in there every day. I fill up my water bottle, and on the top of the water filter thing, it's like one of those water. It connects to the main line, and it's got a filter in it. I walk by that every single time I go in there. Maybe, I don't know, 17 times I've gone in there and said the same thing. There's a little thing on top that says the last time this filter was changed was on September 23rd, 2023. It's October 31st, 2024. Okay? No one's replaced the filter. I say it to him every single time. I'm like, hey, man, you know, like, this filter hasn't been replaced. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, like, you know, like, they got a specific date, like, when they come and stuff to fix that. And I'm like, okay, well, could you call and see if that's, like, soon? Because it's been over a year. I've never heard of a water filter not being replaced. Like, I've heard of, like, yearly water filters, but I never heard of anything longer than that. Can you call? He's like, no, like, they just come when, like, they come. Okay. How about you stop eating the fucking Kit Kats behind there, you slob, and you do your job and call the fucking people that filtered the water in this building. Alright? He asked me the other day if I was going, they're doing a Six Flags trip. He asked me the other day if I'm going on the fucking Six Flags trip. Guess what? I'm not, okay? Because I'm a fucking adult, alright? I don't need to go to fucking Fright Fest. I need to get a job and an apartment. And I don't think that's the message they're exactly pushing here. He's like, oh, you're gonna go to the Fright Fest? It's only costs $20, and you know, like, to reserve your spot. Hey. How about you fix the fucking lead line pipes in this building before we start taking trips to fucking Six Flags to go on King to Ka, okay? Half the people in here are living in hell. They have substance abuse problems. Nobody needs to be at Six Flags right now. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't need to happen. We used to do a thing in Covenant House where there was like, they would throw like birthday parties for like these hardened criminal migrants that like were biting each other in the face and like stabbing people outside. And they would like, you know, have them take a ticket for a cupcake. How about we work on the actual problems here? Instead of just being like, well, like, what about, like, Are you going to Six Flags? Are you gonna go to Six Flags? Why? Why, Curvin? So that I could be poor forever? Like you? No thanks. No thank you. I'd rather not perpetually sustain the hell that I'm living in. Please. Thank you. Had enough. You fucking coward slob. He comes up to me, so I get into it with him in the office. I'm like, hey man, like, it's your job. You also work here, and like, the people who have to drink this water here, you know, you should call and check. This is like a problem. Call and check. Do your job. I didn't say do your job to him, but I said it in a lot nicer way. I was like, hey man, like, just, you know, call and check. I mean, a lot of people drink this water. So he gives me some bullshit responses like, yeah, well, they come and they change it when they change it. Okay, that's fine. So I just kind of, and then he says, well, you're drinking it, aren't you? What's the problem if you're drinking it? And I'm like, here's the fucking problem, Curvin, you retard. The problem is that I can't afford to buy water, okay? That's the fucking problem. The problem is that I have to drink the water that's in this building because I have to. That's the fucking problem. And the other problem is, it's your job to fucking make sure that that water system is operational and works, okay? That's the fucking problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you want to go to Six Flags and touch yourself in front of the fucking Bizarro roller coaster, you slob. I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry that you want to go to Six Flags and you want to get a 64-ounce big gulp fucking Pepsi and touch yourself like a pedophile pervert in front of the haunted house, okay? I'm sorry you want to go there and you want to go smoke a whole pack of cigarettes and eat candy like a fucking slob. Sorry, Curvin. Sorry about that. I'm sorry that you have to do your job. I'm sorry that occasionally you have to call and make sure that the water in the building is clean. So sorry about that. I'm gonna kill myself. Not really. I won't. Because I'm too strong. Curvin can't get me down. This smile keeps on shining. I'm living the dream, baby. I'm living the dream. I'm killing shit. No way I would kill myself. No way that the dirty water in the building makes me want to kill myself. Also, they did this thing the other day where I walked downstairs, they're doing like some kind of community meeting, and they're doing this thing called the self activity. And the S stands for safety, the E stands for something else, the L stands for, I guess, like, you're a loser. I don't know what the fuck the other letters stand for, because I just got so hung up on the S. The director of the program, Pascal, comes down and she's like, all right, guys, we're gonna do a little activity called self. And so near the S, it's about safety, and I want you guys to just write, like, how you feel safe in the building, and if you feel safe. Guess what, bitch? Didn't somebody jump off the roof of this building last week? Someone literally jumped off the roof of this building, and, like, didn't die. They, like, couldn't even kill themselves. They didn't die. They were, like, so, like, you know, the people in this building are so inept, they can't even kill themselves. They're not inept, whatever. They're so fucking, like, just, like, useless that they can't even they literally can't even kill themselves, right? Okay? The guy jumped off the building and landed on a car, but he was only like 3 stories up, so like they just took him to the hospital and he came right back. What do you mean safety? The fuck do you mean safety? My Mexican roommate snorts fucking cocaine. It's probably not even cocaine, it's probably crack. If it was cocaine, he wouldn't be living here, because he could probably afford somewhere else, okay? But my illegal immigrant Mexican roommate smokes fucking rock. And it's not because he's Mexican. There's a lot of other Spanish kids in this building that are fucking great. And I hang out with them all the time. We play Uno. I don't really know what they're saying. Occasionally I hear them call me pendejo. But that's fine, because I still win at Uno. So, you know, it has nothing to do with him being Mexican, alright? The problem is, he's smoking a big bowl of fucking rock, a big bowl of glass, okay? And then he goes, Mami puta! And he starts running into the doors, okay? He runs around the apartment naked, he pisses on the floor. He is a fucking problem, okay? And every time I fucking bring this up, they're like, well, you know, Phil, we can move you for a safety transfer if you want. We can just move you. I'm like, hey, haven't you moved the fucking crack addict that you put in that you put in my quad, that you put in my apartment? Haven't you moved the crack addict that literally threatens to kill me and says things like, it'll be good when you're dead, bro. It'll be good when you're dead. It'll be good when you're dead. Says things like that to me all fucking day long, okay? He comes in, he goes, pendejo fucking loco over doctor. And he's like wasted out of his mind, and then he goes upstairs, he smokes a big rock. Puts a big rock in his mouth. Fucking lunatic. Anyway, I forgot what, oh, safety. Yeah, she's like, do you guys feel safe in the building? No, I don't feel safe, because I have this illegal immigrant that you keep protecting. Like, he broke every fucking rule in the program, and he gets special preference because he crossed a border. Okay? And it's like, I have to live in hell with that. I have to live in hell with that. More resources are going towards helping him out than they are going towards helping me out. The other day I had a conversation with my case manager where I told her I was going to live in a car, and she was like, yeah, that's a good idea, you know, like, yeah, just whatever you feel. Huh? Huh? Whatever how about you find me an apartment, you fucking lunatic? Isn't that your job? What do you mean it'll be good if I'm living in a car? That's not a fucking solution. These people are like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the lead in the water. Okay, the lead in the water that they refuse to clean out. Maybe it's that's driving everybody a little bit nuts. Okay? But, like, she's, like, telling me that it'll be fine if, like, I live in a car. I'm like, bitch, are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy? I was kind of just saying that to her to, like, just get a reaction. And she's like, yeah, you know, like, well, anything you want, you know, if that's what works for you. Does that work for you, Tawana? Does that fucking work for you? Because you barely do your job, too. Everybody in this building barely does their job. They're a bunch of... It's like a bunch of, like people that, like, barely graduated college with an associate's degree and came here, and now they think that, like, they can, like, lord over, like, ex-homeless people. It's fucking nuts. Everybody in this building is so fucking nuts. I talked to the supervisor of the building about my roommate that's trying to kill me, okay? And not even just me. Other people in my apartment. My one roommate that's a witch, they try to kill him. He tries to kill him too. He like runs into his doors. Also, this kid picks the locks. This fucking kid picks the locks, like, to my room, to this other kid's room. He's running into doors that, like, aren't even in our apartment. Like, he's clearly a fucking problem. And you know what they tell me? They go, well, Philip, you know, just because they don't, you know, you don't see things happening doesn't mean that they aren't. Okay, just because you don't see me bawling out in fucking bitches and going to the club doesn't mean that I'm not, Pascal. It doesn't mean that I'm not Puff Daddy, Pascal. Just because I'm all you can see is that I'm a white homeless kid. It doesn't mean that I'm not Puff Daddy. Okay, because you can't see that. When I leave out of here, my skin magically turns black and I become a rapper with gold chains and gold teeth. Okay, that's what happens when I leave out. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening. You understand? These people are fucking retarded. All of these people are retarded, and I don't usually use that word, but I do, and they are. Okay? Fucking had a goddamn enough. My cousin just had a stroke. I'm about to have one too. Josh. I'm about to have another stroke too. Okay? My cousin had a stroke because he smoked pot and drank wine for the better part of the last 25 fucking years. And he had a stroke because, you know, he owns his own business. It's like, all right. I mean, I don't even own a bed, so, you know, I'll take having a stroke and owning my own business over my fucking life right now. I'm about to have a stroke myself. And you know who will show up to the hospital? Fucking no one. Not one person will show up. Okay? And that's fine, because I was born alone, and I'll fucking die alone. Okay? And so will all of you. And if you don't understand that, then you need to wake the fuck up. The world is cold. I got a Mexican roommate that's trying to kill me. Alright? And you know what the good thing about knowing that I'm gonna die alone is? That I know he's gonna die alone too. That's the good thing. Is that in my death, I'll be remembering him, and I'll be remembering that he's probably dying alone in a worse way than I am. And in that way, I won. In that way, I'm a winner. Okay? Fucking God. Okay. Alright. Now that I got that off my chest, I'm gonna fucking... I'm gonna use the I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom before I have a fucking stroke. Kill myself. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go meditate for about 10 minutes. Calm myself down a little bit. Okay? Goodbye. I'm back. I'm Zen. I am Buddha. And I am enlightened. I feel very much like Curvin is a goddamn fucking slob. He's a goddamn slob. I missed one thing about the story, by the way. He came right back out after I got into this whole fucking thing with him. He came out because I was telling somebody else about him being not good at his job. And he came out and he was like, well, just so you know, Philip, I just called and they told me it was a 15-month filter. It's a 15-month filter. So you can keep talking shit. Whatever you do, keep talking shit. You can keep talking shit. And then I'm like, buddy, I'm not talking shit. It took me 17 times of saying the same thing for you to even call. I'm not talking shit. You're not doing your job. Okay? And then I was like, you're not doing your job. And he just walks away from me. He just starts walking away from me. Fucking coward. You fucking coward. Coward slob. Disgusting. I'm really getting tired of people. I'm really fucking getting tired of it. Truly. I am. You know? This isolation really leads to a lot of problems. And most of them, some of them I start. But a lot of them I don't. And, you know, I think a big thing, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, I think every major mental health issue, okay, every major substance abuse issue, every major issue, really, when it comes to people, stems ultimately from some kind of isolation, all right? And even some of this, like, gender stuff, even some of, like this uptake in trans youth and this uptake in gay youth and stuff, I'm gay, and I understand, like, my relationship with my father growing up was not really that great, and that probably contributed to my sexuality in some way. Okay? It probably did. It's an isolation from my family. Okay? The way that I'm living now, I'm very isolated. Also, the reason I brought up living in a car was because I need to plug back into my school, and my school right now is 2 hours away. I go to college in Staten Island. It's 2 hours away from where I live in the city. So, like, every issue that I have had in my life, I can trace back to being isolated in some way. Whether that's, you know, I'm eating poorly because my mind is isolated from my body. You know, I'm smoking a lot of pot because my sober mind's isolated from, like, my you know, intoxicated mind. It all stems back to isolation, and the only real way to fix any of these problems is to be able to connect with other people and to connect into some kind of like a social setting, some kind of a social group. This all traces back to that, all of it. And even being trans, being gay, a lot of sexuality, I think, also has to do with being isolated in some way. A lot of gay kids are isolated, and a lot of the gay culture stems from deep isolation and from deep stigmas that formed because of that isolation. And I think really everybody just needs to kind of get back in touch, get off the phone, disconnect from you know, these tech overlords that are programming your mind 24/7. And I think it's time that everybody kind of takes a step back and connects back with society and with themselves and with other people. Because I think that all of these problems that are arising, especially in New York City, like the sickness, the vapid sickness that I feel when I walk outside and look at the crumble cookies line, okay, that's around the block, the sickness that I see in those people could be fixed by having, you know, a club. Go to a club. Where you go to a club, it doesn't even matter what the club is. Go to an NRA meeting or something. Go to an AA meeting. Go to a bike, you know, maybe join a running club. Join a running club. Okay? You sick fucks. Every time I walk outside of my house, my apartment, that's not even mine, that's literally a fucking shelter. Every time I walk out, I see a line all the way around the block for crumble cookies, for a fucking cookie, okay? You have to schedule an appointment now on the app to get a cookie. Schedule an appointment, and the cookie's $6 and 1,000 calories. Okay? And people line up around the block for this. And also, every single person in that line is either like a 15-year-old girl or like somebody's boyfriend who's completely fucking cuckolded. All right? It's some emasculated man, like, waiting in the line. I walked by the other day, there was this guy on the phone that was like, babe, the line's, like, long. And then he was like, uh-huh. But, like, I don't know if I want to wait in this. And then he was like, okay, all right. You said you want a chocolate chip? It's like everybody's, like, emasculated and cuckolded and, like, being puppeteered by, like ads. Like, you saw TikTok about a cookie, and now you're gonna go wait 2 hours in line for a 1,000-calorie sugar-filled cookie that costs $7. And it's, like, not even good. It's, like, not even that good. It's, like, raw. It's, like, not even cooked. It's, like, not good. It's not good. Okay? There's people standing in lines at a methadone clinic that are saner than you fucks. Standing outside the crumble cookie. There's people scratching their melanomas off of their skin. Peeling their skin off. Peeling their fucking skin off like it's string cheese. Outside of methadone clinics to just get a little taste. Okay? And they're saner than the people waiting online outside of the crumble cookies. Hey, how about you get a real fucking addiction? Aren't you adults? How about you get a real addiction instead of sugar, you pussy? People in this city used to have fucking, and like, I'm acting like I know, but I you know, I'm only 21. I don't really know what the city was like before. But from what I've heard, people in this city used to fucking have real problems. Real problems and real addictions and real things. Their life was real. Your life is fake. If you're standing on a fucking crumble cookie line, your life is fucking fake. You go home to a $2,400 a month shoebox to your fat girlfriend to give her a fucking cookie. You slob pig. You slob cuckolded pig. And then her actual boyfriend comes over and fucks her brains out while you watch and rub like crumble cookie dough on your nipples. Sick. You're sick. You're all sick. I'm this close. I'm this fucking close. If you could see how close I am, I'm so close to making free hot chocolate, like a big bucket of like free hot chocolate, okay? And just dumping laxatives into the hot chocolate for that line. They're sick people, and they need to shit their brains out until they realize how sick they are, okay? Sometimes you don't even know you're sick, and this is true. Sometimes you don't know that you're sick until you feel that you're sick. Remember COVID? Remember that? Remember that fun time? Remember when some people, like, they were saying that it was gonna kill everybody and everybody's dying and it's the fucking zombie flu. Okay? Remember when everybody was saying that, but then like at the same time, nobody knew that when they had it. Most people didn't even know when they had it until they ate like an Eggo waffle and like couldn't taste the Aunt Jemima cornstarch, like corn syrup. I can't taste the oh yeah, right, it's not Aunt Jemima anymore, it's like log cabin or something. I can't taste the log cabin, the corn goop. I can't taste the corn goop. I think I got the virus. I can't taste my waffle that was made in a factory by a Chinese child. I think I got the virus. Remember that? Sometimes you don't know that you're sick until you feel something. And that's what I did. This is the service that I like to provide here. A lot of people get confused when I talk about my show. Okay? They're like, well, why do you scream into a microphone? Well, 2 reasons. 1, so I don't I don't put a shotgun in my mouth. Okay? That's the first reason. Second reason is, so that I can make people feel a little bit sick so that they realize that they are completely sick. You know? You gotta realize that this is the only way to realize that you're sick, is to feel it a little bit. So I'm gonna go outside to the crumble cookie line that's around the block, and I'm gonna offer free hot chocolate that's packed with laxatives to these sick people that have been waiting, 95 minutes for a cookie. Okay? You know? And when they start shitting their brains out, they're gonna go, oh, you know what? I feel really sick. You know, I should have never waited in line for that cookie. You know, people, you know? They're ill. They're ill. They're not sane. They're not sane people. There's people in methadone clinics peeling their skin off like string cheese that have more common sense than that. Okay? It's disgusting. speaking of peeling off your skin like string cheese, I saw the movie called The Substance the other day. It was pretty good. It put into perspective a couple things. One, I think that it's bad to mortgage your prison for your future. So, set yourself up in a way that's going to, help you out. And two, the second thing I learned is that white women cannot twerk. And that was half of the movie. Demi Moore, injects herself with this thing that, makes a younger different self, break out of her skin. It's, the craziest shit I've ever seen. It's great. Demi Moore turns into, this, ghoul witch that, is, disgusting, and, they end up fighting. It's a tremendous movie. I was kind of scarred from it. It's pretty good. I was scarred from that, and I was scarred from The Terrifier 3, where he took a tube that was, a big tube, and he hammered it with a sledgehammer into a girl's mouth before feeding her rats until she died. Okay? That also freaked me out. Okay? Didn't like that. But you know what? I wish the fucking Terrifier would come here and saw me in half from my pussy to my throat, fucking shove a fucking tube in my mouth and fill me with rats until I die. Because that'd be a hell of a lot better than having to live with the cocaine devil 2 doors down. Alright? Just end it. It's enough. I've had enough. It's fucking enough. I was walking back from from hanging out with my friend to my apartment. I was a little bit drunk. We went out. We had a couple drinks. It was nice. Okay? Kept it in check, though. That's the difference. I don't end up pissing on floors. We're coming back, and I'm a little bit sloshed. I go, and I start kind of, feeling the hangover come on, and he's like, oh, do you want to, come sleep over in Jersey? I was like, nah, bro. I'm just going to head back to my apartment. I'll see you when I see you. And we parted ways. And on the way back, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling kind of sick. I'm going to smoke a joint. So I smoked a joint. And as I'm smoking this joint, I'm walking through this Battery Park. Was it Battery Park? It was either Battery Park or Washington Square Park. One of the parks. I forget where I was. But I was walking through a park, and this guy and his girlfriend came up, and he was like, yo, smells good. Can I get a hit off your joint? And he looked relatively normal. He wasn't like a crazy homeless person. So I was like, yeah, man, here. Just have the rest of it. And I gave it to him, and we get to talking. And he's like, yeah, it's tough. I've been trying to sell my apartment and stuff, and, it's been rough. And I don't know what made me do this, but I just turned to him and I said, hey, what number are you selling the apartment for? And he was like, well, I don't really know. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm a billionaire. I'm a fucking billionaire, okay? What number are you selling the apartment for? I'll buy that shit right now like it's nothing. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, I'm a billionaire, dude. What is the number for the apartment? How much to buy the apartment? And he's like, well, that's funny, because I'm a billionaire. And then we started arguing over, who's really a billionaire in the park at night smoking pot. And, he was like, well, I'm a billionaire, too. And I'm like, well, I'm a richer billionaire. How about that? And he's like, well, that's impossible because I'm the richest billionaire that there is. How about that? And then, we just kept arguing. His girlfriend, turned and, the second I said I'm a billionaire, the girlfriend looked at me, and she went, oh, fuck this. And she just walked right away. And then we were just arguing for 10 minutes about who was a billionaire. And then at a certain point, I was like, you know what? Why don't we just shake hands and part as billionaires? And we shook hands and we parted as billionaires in the park. It's a nice moment. Not everybody gets to part as a billionaire in the park. Okay? At night, at 1 a.m. All right? Just 2 billionaires. Just 2 sexy billionaires just partying in the park. It's a sweet moment. And I'll remember that. On my deathbed, that'll be the moment that I think to. It won't be the shitty Christmases where I watched my cousins get wasted and thought that was, how people had fun. It won't be the Thanksgiving dinner where, my drunk uncle who, hits on our cousins, who hits on, the cousins in the family. It won't be when me remembering him hitting on the cousins and dancing and having a good time and getting wasted and being a pervert. It won't be It won't be the memories of my mother screaming at me and my father telling me how much I cost. It won't be any of that. It won't be any of those memories that comes up. My last memory, my out-of-body experience when my life plays before my eyes, will be me sitting in my room with a big knife, ready for the Mexican cocaine addict to break through, ready for the fight to start. It'll be that. It'll be the moment of parting as billionaires at a park with a stranger who's also a billionaire, allegedly. It'll be those moments. It'll be the moments where I drugged everybody in the Crumble Cookies line with laxatives, and they all shit their pants. It'll be moments like that will come to me in my final hour. And I'll smile. I'll smile. And I'll think, God, I hope Alicio is boiling in a big pot. I hope Alicio is boiling to death in a giant pot like a lobster. And I hope as he's doing that and as he screams and the air leaves his lungs, I hope the person boiling him turns to his wife and goes, you know, Mexicans can't really feel pain. That sound is just the air escaping their body. You know, it's not. They actually don't even have voice boxes. They can't scream. They don't really feel pain. I hope that that's how it ends. I hope that that's how it fucking ends. Obviously, I don't hope that he gets put in a pot because he's Mexican. I hope he gets put in a pot because, I don't know, he's doing drugs and threatening to kill me. I think that that's what will come to me in my final days, in my final moments. And I think that that's a good thing. I think that that's very fair. You know, I know that I'm sniffing a lot here. It's because I have a stuffed nose. All right? I have a little bit of a stuffed nose. It's not because I'm doing cocaine. It's because I have a stuffed nose. If I was doing cocaine, you'd hear, and then I'd start running into doors. But guess what? I'm not. Instead, I'm sitting here talking to you pigs. That's how you know. I'm getting a little bit tired of my school. Getting a little bit fucking tired of my school. Okay? There's a lot of shit going on there. I'm tired. The ferry, first of all, I used to think, speaking of the immigrants in the city, they're not, the Mexican, like the Spanish ones are actually kind of fine. I actually don't really mind them at all. It's the tourists, really, like the French tourists are disgusting. The French tourists on the Staten Island ferry are the most disgusting group of people that I've ever seen in my life, and they should all be put in a little cage. They get on the thing. First of all of them smell like shit. Literally all of them smell like shit. I have to walk, like, first of all, when the ferry comes, when the Staten Island ferry comes to the ferry terminal, I'll go up the escalator, and I see this every single day. It's some French tourist taking a picture of this Nike ad in the building, and like under it is like an Aunt Annie's. Are you a trash bag? When the fuck are you looking at that picture, you trash bag? What, you taking a picture of an ad? Do you have a brain in your head? They smell like shit. Every time the ferry comes, like 10 minutes before the ferry comes, everybody goes, oh, je t'attends, the ferry, coming soon, you have to get to the door. And they like all just like group together towards the door, like they pack as tight as possible towards the door. It smells like a fucking farm. It's disgusting. It smells like a goddamn farm. My Uncle Gene has a farm. He used to have a big pig named Momo, and Momo would rip the udders off of cows, and he was a real piece of shit. And every time I smell one of these French people, I think of Momo, and I think, wow, this French tourist is about to fucking gore me to death with his stench. The disgusting. Momo used to roll in cow shit and cover himself with shit, and Momo smelled better than these French tourists. It's fucking disgusting. I get on the... I'm like, okay, so they all kind of congregate together, but every single time, the door's open, and then everybody who's also just seated just gets up and goes on the ferry. Like, no one even needs to get near the door at all. It's gross. It's a gross behavior. Getting herded together like sheep to go onto a free boat. Disgusting. They, you know, like, to get onto the ferry, they have, like, two small little, I don't know what it's called, but it's the part of the dock that touches down to the boat where you walk across, like a little bridge. Okay, and every time I go on that bridge, I have to literally hold my breath Otherwise, I start dry heaving at the stench of these disgusting French tourists. They don't watch their kids at all. They do not watch their kids. I was on the boat the other day. One of them has this a daughter with Down syndrome. She was very cute, but she was running around, and, you're on a boat, and also it's a free boat. So there's a lot of crazy homeless people. You lock eyes with the wrong person, it's going to be a problem. His little daughter with Down syndrome, is running up to people and, like, saying hi and, like, tapping them. And, it's like, have some fucking etiquette, okay? I understand your daughter's got a problem. Guess what? They make leashes for kids. They make little leashes for kids. I don't know if they knew that, but they make little leashes for kids. I see them all the time. I see two, like, little Jewish kids, like, on a leash. Like, their parents put them on leashes. And they make that. And I think that the tourists should be given that. Put your kid on a fucking leash. I don't care that she's got Down syndrome. She's gonna get a throat slit with a box cutter from someone who's a schizophrenia that is just allowed to, like, yell at people on the boat. Okay? You gotta be more safe with your kids. It's disgusting. They let their kids run all around the boat. It's like, okay, that's fine. At least, you know what the difference is between the Spanish, like, immigrants that come here and the French ones? The difference is the ones that are Spanish that make it here work their fucking ass off. I'm on that boat, and you know what I see? You know what the Spanish people do with their kids? They're walking around starting a business. They have a business. It might be chicletas. They're selling Kit Kats and shit, but it's a business, and they're teaching their kids business skills. Yes, they're kind of using their kids to get sympathy for themselves, and that I don't know if I love, but the kids are working. They're working. The Austrian, this fucking Austrian guy that told me that I had to, I don't know if I told this story in the, on the last episode, but I went on a date with this Austrian guy, and he told me that he made me promise to sit when I pee, because in Austria, the men sit when they pee. The men, they sit when they pee in Austria. Hey, this is America. If I want to piss on the goddamn wall, I will, okay? I don't need to sit when I pee. Sorry, this isn't a fascist utopia, you fucking Nazi scum. Anyway, forgot what my point was. But the kids, the Spanish kids that are on that boat, that are, like, not tourists, but, like, I guess can't, get a job because they're not legal. They're working, and that I respect. That I fucking respect. Letting your daughter with Down syndrome run around and like, hit people is not something that I fucking respect at all. These French tourists are disgusting. They smell like shit. They're like, we will, Statue of Liberty, take a picture. And they start taking pictures of buildings. Is there any behavior that's more vapid and disgusting than taking a picture of a fucking building? That's something that I did when I was 5 years old. I went, and my mom went, yeah, it's a skyscraper. It's a skyscraper, John, yeah. You like that? Yeah, look, oh, did you see that one? That one's got a big point at the top. And I'll go, oh, yeah, oh, look, it's so tall. Okay? These are like 45-year-old French pussy cowards that come to visit, and they're like, Statue of Liberty, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette outside and take a little picture of the building. They take pictures of the Staten Island ferry terminal, too. Like, they were, like, pulling up to dock. The Staten Island ferry terminal is disgusting. It looks like a corporate mall. It's fucking gross. There's nothing about it that's interesting at all. And they're like, I take a picture of the boat dock, and I take a picture of the dock. Disgusting. They have no etiquette at all, too. For a country that's all about, manners and fine dining, they have no etiquette. None of them know how to ride the escalator. Not one of them knows how to ride the escalator. First of all, you get on the escalator, you stand on the right side. You stand on the right side, like a person, so that you let people that actually have shit to do and are not just fucking around on the Staten Island ferry letting their autistic children hit people pass by. Okay? You stand on the right side, you let people pass on the left. It's how it works. Every single time I get on the escalator, it's like it'll be like everyone that's American is on the right, doing the right thing. Everybody that, even people that aren't American that just have common sense are on the right side. The French tourists are like, oh, Mama Buddha, Badaboo, look at this picture of the ferry that I took. And they're sprawled out, across the thing. It's disgusting. I don't know why we fought any of their wars. We saved you. We saved you, France. America saved you. I didn't. I would never. But America saved you. If it was up to me, I would have let the Nazis take France immediately. The way they fucking act in this country. The way these French tourists act in this country. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. The only people that get away with taking a picture of a building are the Asian people on the boat that come over. And you know why? It's because they dress nice, they don't smell like shit, and they're very polite. Most of them are very, very polite. Okay? These French tourists are fucking slobs. The slobs, they smell like shit, and they have like this attitude that they're like better than Americans, even though they're riding literally the most disgusting attraction that America has to offer, the Staten Island Ferry. Okay? Fucking disgusting. Anyway, I forgot where I was going. Oh, yeah. Oh, my school. Yeah, so I take this boat every day to my school. Drives me fucking nuts. My lab teacher, Ji Ying, I think that's his name. Pretty sure that's it. Jang? Ji Ying? Jang? It's something like that. His last name is Jang. Okay, Professor Jang. It's spelled Jzhang, which is cool. It's fine. He's nice. He's usually nice, but he just tries to fuck me over every single class. I go there. He's like, we're doing a lab on density, okay? We're doing a lab on, like, mass to volume. Nothing with acid, nothing that's gonna burn me or hurt me in any way. And I had shorts on because I fucking forgot that I had to wear long pants, okay? But I traveled 2 hours to get there. And he's like, yeah, unfortunately I can't let you take the lab because you're in shorts. I'm like, yeah, we're doing a density thing today. Can you just let it slide, please, and be a person? Can you just be a person? Just let it slide. Didn't want to let it slide, so he didn't let it slide. He's like, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. And so, like, I like, miss out on the lab, which is, like, a big part of my grade. And it's, like, just every single time I go in there, it's another thing. Like one time, you know, they have this little storeroom where, like, this little Chinese witch works. She just kind of, she's like a little, she looks like Igor. She kind of is just like, what you need? And she, like, kind of goes and she gets you, like, you know, if you need, like, goggles, she'll go get you goggles. But what they don't tell you is that they charge you. So they like every time I go up there one time because I forgot my goggles. Like, hey, can I just borrow some goggles for the class? I'll return them. She goes, $3 for goggle. That's what she says to me. I'm like, okay, can you just listen? I don't have $3. Nobody at this school is here because they have money. I don't have $3 on me. Can you just give me the fucking goggles, please? Can you just be a person, a human being, please? We're all living in hell here. This school is a fucking nightmare. It literally was built on the grounds of an asylum. Okay? It's a clown college built on the grounds of an asylum. And by the way, every teacher working at this building is like a fake academic that like couldn't fucking make it into a real university, so they come and work here. Okay? It's gross. You're gonna lord over me? You fake academic? You fool? You're a fool. I understand you're my professor, but guess what? You're a fool. You're 23 years old. Be a fucking human being. Whatever. The other day, he was like, he like said something to me. He was like, you need to make sure that you like come to class on time. I'm like, buddy, I wasn't here on time because I take a train to a ferry to a bus, and there happened to be traffic today. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm 10 minutes late. I'm 10 minutes late to your class. He goes, You should really be here on time. You should really be here on time. And I go, okay, should I suck you off too? Because you're already fucking me. Every single time I see you, you already find some way to fuck me. Should I suck you off too? Bunch of fake academics at the clown asylum. He's like a fake professor. He's like not even like a real professor. He's like a fake professor. We're like doing like density. Doing like basic ass shit. Doing density. You're gonna lord over me because I'm 10 minutes late? I'm sorry that I'm 10 minutes late. I'm sorry I live in hell. Sorry. Sorry it takes a second for me to crawl my way out of the fiery pit to get to this fucking clown asylum that you work at. Alright? Goddamn lunatic. He's a Chinese nationalist. He's a fucking Chinese nationalist. He wants me to fail because he hates America. He hates America because he couldn't make it into Harvard. He's a goddamn Chinese nationalist. He's here under the I don't know. He's here under the advisement of President Xi to like spy on our country. He's here to spy on our country. He's destroying this country. He's a Chinese nationalist that's destroying this goddamn country. And he's coming specifically after me. I know President Xi knows me. He said, you're going to America. And Zhang was like, fuck, I don't want to fucking go there with those slobs. And President Xi goes, yeah, you gotta go. There's a kid, there's an oracle, a prophet, if you will, that goes to the College of Staten Island. And Zhang goes, that clown asylum? You mean the school that was literally built on top of the Willowbrook Asylum, where they used to chain people to the wall and spray them with hoses? That place? He goes, yeah, there's a college there now. Your job is to go, and obviously they're speaking Chinese, not English. Your job is to go there and to emotionally destroy John Barlow. Or John, whatever. I'm using a fake name. John Barlow's from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which is a great watch, by the way. Great watch. But anyway, she goes, your job is to go emotionally destroy this kid at the College of Staten Island, okay? He is a prophet. He's an oracle. He only speaks the truth, and he can see the future. And that's why Zhang is here trying to destroy my fucking life. It's because he's a Chinese nationalist that wants to destroy this country. Especially me. The success of this country is dependent on me. It's all on my shoulders. This entire country's on my shoulders right now. I can't help it. What do you want me to do? Sorry. I'm sorry I'm the oracle. Sorry to speak the truth. Sorry that I could see the future. I'm sorry that I tell it like it is. Sorry about that. I'm sorry that my Chinese nationalist lab teacher wants to fuck me in my mouth every time I come into the class. Sorry about that. This is my apology tour. Just gonna have to say sorry every 2 seconds. Sorry. Anyway, there's this kid in my lab class. I thought that he was like his lab partner is like 75 years old, okay? Which, like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, is this for fun? What are you doing here? Like, you're getting your degree, you're getting an electrical engineering degree at 75? Be for real. But nobody at the school is for real because it's a clown asylum. So this woman, she's like kind of old, and she's kind of like this decrepit old woman. And this kid, he's got like this long hair and a mustache, and he has like anger issues. And when he gets pissed because also the Chinese nationalist lab teacher comes after him because he happens to be a white man. Okay? He happens to be the white man. And the Chinese nationalist lab teacher cannot have that. He has to seek and destroy. Not really, but I'm joking, by the way. But he got mad about something and like got in like this 75-year-old woman's face about it. And like I almost said something to him, but something in me told me to, why don't I just get to know him and just see what's up? Because like sometimes I don't really know with these people. Sometimes people like, have real problems. I didn't know if he had a problem or not. And I'm not the best. I have a gaydar. I don't really have a good autism radar. I kind of just like am like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And then somebody will be like, oh no, like he has Asperger's. And then it's like, oh, okay, my bad. Anyway, I walk up to this kid. I start talking to him. I don't know if you remember from the other episode. There's this other kid that's at my school. His name's Jason. He is a evangelical Asian kid that goes to this church. It's called the New Hope Church of Christ, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. I'm talking to Chris, who is the kid with the long hair and the mustache who's yelling at a 75-year-old woman all the time. I'm talking to Chris. I meet him. I'm like, hey, man, like, what's up, bro? Like, I'm Phil. It's nice to meet you, whatever. Like, I just kind of tried to talk. I just started talking to him because sometimes getting irate with people isn't the right move. I know I do that a lot, but sometimes that's not the right move. So I start talking to this kid, and, we just get to talking. He ends up telling me that he's autistic. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Also, it turns out that 75-year-old woman, complete cunt. She's a complete cunt. She is a complete cunt. She, like, does not, like, people try to say hello to her. She, like, pushes her way past people. She's a complete bitch, apparently, according to some other people in the class. I didn't know that. But, so I don't really feel that bad that Chris is yelling at her. But I start talking to Chris about the class, and he's like, yeah, fuck that teacher, yeah. Yeah, that teacher, attached electrodes to my nipples and whipped me in the nuts like James Bond. He didn't say that, but whatever. We get to talking. He starts saying, so I bring up to him just kind of as like a funny thing. I'm like, hey, like, do you know that kid, Jason, who's like the evangelical Asian kid that like is here? And I made the mistake of doing, and he goes, yeah, he's in a cult, and that cult is responsible for me going to a mental hospital. And I'm like, you mean the College of Staten Island? And he like didn't laugh, but he was like, yeah, that cult was responsible for me to go into a mental hospital. Have you seen The Basement yet? And I was like, what? The Basement? I made the mistake of, I thought that I was going to be able to solicit some money for this gardening initiative idea that I had. I thought I was going to be able to solicit some money from his church, because a lot of times fanatics, if you can phrase it right, they really want to help, and there's a big food insecurity issue at my school. So I was like, oh, why don't we grow food? I'm trying to secure some funding for that. So I was like, you know what, Jason? Yeah, I will do a Bible study with you. So I did a little Bible study with him. He told me that the Sabbath day was on Saturday, which is true. And then I asked him, he said on the Sabbath, you're not supposed to do anything. Don't do anything on the Sabbath. You're not really supposed to like move or walk or whatever. So I'm like, all right, on the Sabbath, like, I can't run. And he's like, yeah, you can't run. And I was like, okay, so like, what if I'm like living in like a Pompeii style situation where, there's lava flowing down and my house is about to light on fire and I'm in it with all my children. What should I do? Should I get them and run? And he goes, no, you should pray. So he's kind of a little bit nuts. I do like the kid though. He's a very sweet kid, Jason. He's just, in a cult. So it's kind of a problem, but whatever. I've had weirder friends. He's okay. Anyway, he tells me, he's like, oh, so Chris tells me, he goes, have you done Bible study with Jason yet? And I'm like, yeah, I did one. And he was like, well, around the 4th or 5th one, they're going to invite you to go to the basement. I'm like, what the fuck is the basement? And he's like, it's where they hold their meetings, and that's when they start telling you about the Mother Christ. And I was like, the Mother Christ? What the fuck are you talking about? And so he goes, so this cult believes in a Korean Jesus that is two Jesuses. There's the Father Christ and the Mother Christ. And the Father Christ was born like just after World War II. And the Mother Christ is still alive. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then anyway, I have a 20-minute recording of everything that this kid said to me. It was pretty fucking wild. I can't remember the specifics right now. But anyway, so I stopped talking to him. And I go to look up the cult. And I'm like researching the survivors and, like the people that got out of the cult. And one girl, she's like crying. She's like, they told me that my mother, that I was dishonoring God because I'm fat. And apparently they had told her, okay, so there's a picture of her, of like the church members or the cult members with the Mother Christ. And then in the front row, there's like a fat girl in the front row. And they told her that she was dishonoring God by being fat because she was taking the attention away from the Mother Christ, which is like this frail Korean woman. So literally this Korean woman was just like, fuck this bitch, this picture's about me. And like they like excommunicated this girl from the cult, and like they just fucked with a lot of people. There's like a lot of crazy stories about it. And I saw Jason funny enough, in the Staten Island ferry station. And I saw Jason there, and Jason's like, oh, he's with like literally like his handler, I guess. I don't know. It's like this other kid in a suit, and the other kid's in a suit. I'm like telling him about this. I'm like, because we started talking about the church and stuff. He's like, are you interested in it? I'm like, I don't really know, man. Like, I heard a couple things from some people that, were in it that aren't in it now that, kind of was alarming. And he goes, who, Chris? And I'm like, yeah, like Chris. I mean, also there's, another girl online. And he goes, all of these victims are autistic and lying. Are they? He was like, you can't believe anything that anybody has to say other than our church and the Word of God. And I was like, okay, like you're like deep in this. What the fuck? And then he was like, Jason and I have this class, have a chemistry class together. Like, and that's the class that I was going to. And Jason was like, oh yeah, like we're about to drive to the school now. And I was like, oh, sweet. Like, you think I could get a ride with you guys? And his handler was like such a dickhead. He was like, well, actually, no, like, we're like going to do something first. Like, I actually know. And then I like showed up at the class and Jason was like at the class. So I was like, fuck you. People are so fucking nuts. Really fucking had enough of everybody. Every single goddamn person in this goddamn school, this goddamn clown college. I walk by people that like are like 600 pounds and like talking about how they're going to be a surgeon. I walk past evangelical Asians. I walk past kids that have such a speech impediment that it almost sounds like a different language. And then you find out that they want to be a politician. Like, it's fucking insane. It's insane. Everybody there is so goddamn delusional, except for me. I'm the only one that's not. Literally am the only one that's not. God. I'm really getting annoyed. I'm really getting annoyed. I just got scammed out there. I was trying to find an apartment out there, and this guy, he was like, oh, well, you know, send me $100. Like, send me $100, and, you know, I'll reserve the room for you because, you know, I have another person interested. And I'm a fucking idiot. So I sent him $100. This is during Hurricane Helene. So I go out there. He's like, all right, cool. Like, you can come see the apartment at, like, 4 o'clock. So I go out there. I go to the address that he sends me, and I'm, like, knocking on this woman's door, like, hello, I'm here to see the room, hello. And I'm, like, in a hurricane soaking wet, like, I'm here to see the room, I'm here to see the room. And, like, nobody let me out. And so I was just, like, in this hurricane, just like, fuck, I just got fucking scammed. And I gotta, like, walk back to the station. Oh, fuck, I got fucking goddamn fucking scammed. I'm like, God, scammed. And so, like, whatever. So I go on my phone, I'm like, fuck, all right, I'm downloading Grindr. At least I'll get my dick sucked tonight. Fucking... because I'm a goddamn... God! I was just getting amped about it. So I'm like, all right, I'll download Grindr. I don't usually do that. So I downloaded it out of an impulse, which I shouldn't have. And I saw, like, there was this one guy that was like, I don't really do threesomes. And the reason that I don't do threesomes is because, like, it's too logistical. Like, it's so many logistics. Like, I'm like, okay, so, like, I put my foot here. It's like playing Twister with, like, 2 gay men, which is, like, the most horrible thing you can imagine. You, like, all right, I put my foot here. I'm going to bend backward, kind of do, like, a back handspring, and then, like, over the top. And, like, all right, so, like, now I'm going to, all right, so whose balls are going in my mouth? Like, it's just, like, too many things. And then by the time, like, everybody's ready to go, it's like my dick's not hard anymore. And I'm like, okay, like, this was just a lot. Like, what was this? I basically just did a yoga class. Like, this is fucking, like, insane. So I don't really do the threesomes, but I guess that night I was feeling a little bit frisky, and I wanted to go do the threesome. So I went and I did the threesome. And when I was there, I go to the building. The guy's like this handsome Asian guy. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, all right, I'll Uber you to my place. It's like a couple blocks down, and it's in a nice building. It's in the Williams-Sonoma building, which is a very nice cookware building. I used to go there with my mom. I love that building. It's amazing. And I'm like, oh, he lives in the top. Okay, so this must be nice. You know, maybe he's got a little change. You know, this will be fun. It's not gonna, you know, it's not like I'm banging somebody in the, you know, in a shelter or something. Like, it's like, this seems legit. I walk in. I walk past the lady at the front, and she kind of gives me a look. She's like, who are you here for? I'm like, oh, like 11 years. She's like, you know, I bet you are. I'm like, okay. And I kind of just go into the elevator. She gave me a look like that. I go to the elevator. I go up. Before my hand even hits the door, this guy opens the door, and he's 15 years older than any of the pictures that he showed me. And I go, oh, my fucking God. Oh, my God. But I also really had to pee. So I was like, all right, I'll come in. Can I use your bathroom? I shake the other guy's hand. His hand's just covered in lube. And they're both acting kind of weird. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, both of you guys are acting like you're going to murder me in a second. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to use the bathroom. I go to use the bathroom, and I'm thinking in the bathroom, how do I get out of this? Like, how do I actually, like, leave here and get out of this? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to do this. God had answered my prayers. This is the same day I was walking in the hurricane, too, by the way. So I'm, like, already pissed. I walk out of the bathroom. I turn to my right. I hear, you want some? And this Asian guy is smoking fucking meth out of a bong. He has, like, a bong with, like, a meth attachment. I turn to him, I go, oh, fuck no. And I walk right the fuck out of there. I walk downstairs. The lady's like, that was fast. Or, like, she, like, said some slick thing to me. Or, like, looked at me weird. And I just turned around and I went, Hey, your tenant up there is smoking fucking meth, okay, bitch? And I walked right out. I tried to listen to music on the way home. I couldn't even put the things in my ears because I was just like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? I got scammed out of $100 in a hurricane and wandered into a meth den today. Like, that was my Saturday. So when my English teacher, when my professor asks what everybody did for their weekend, I'll have a real fun story to tell the class. Fucking insane. I might have been making a racist assumption that it was meth. It could have been crack. But I'm pretty sure it was meth because the guy was Asian. So, like, you know, they kind of party with meth a little bit more. It's a little bit more Tina than it is, you know, crack rocks. Fucking God. You can't escape it. You really can't escape it. You can't escape the hell. Sometimes I woke up. I told this story on the other episode, but I woke up and like I went down to the train station and I was like, damn, like my life's pretty good. And then you walk on the train station and there's a guy on the train station like, ah! And he's pulling out like every single hair in his beard and you're like, oh, it's still hell. So every time that you think that it's going to be fine, it's just as hell. It's hell all the time, everywhere. Okay? There's no escaping it. You gotta just laugh. There's no escaping it at all. It's true. It's true. I'm trying to think what else. Just got so fucking amped up over that. It's Halloween. That's fun. I don't really like Halloween right now, though. I see it's a lot of twink or treat out there. It's a lot of twink or treat. I go outside, it's like all I see in Chelsea is like 16-year-old twinks in jock straps that are like, oh my god, like we're gonna go to the other party. Oh god, you gotta go. Wait, like where's Jessica? And like that's what I hear, and it's just twink or treat. Here's my ass. Twink or treat. Drunk twinks and thongs going to entrap men that are older than them. Happy Halloween. You scared yet? You scared yet? He goes over to somebody's house. He goes, hey guys, twink or treat. Here's my asshole. And then they fuck. And he goes, you want to hear something spooky? The guy goes, what? He goes, I'm 16 and you're now a pedophile. That's scary. That's what's scary. You want to be scary? You be a 16-year-old and you go and trap men as a twink. Twink or treat. Twink or treat. I'm a little annoyed with the Halloween festivities, especially in my building. It's like they're like passing out candy to like the homeless people. Like it's like you're passing out candy to like addicts and people with problems. No more candy. No candy. What about Suboxone? What about that? What if you pass out that? A little Narcan. What if you get a little can of Narcan? You go trick or treat. You knock on the door. It's another homeless person who goes, oh, here. He puts a little Narcan in your bag. What about that? That would be nice. That would be at least appropriate. Instead of giving Skittles to a heroin addict. It's fucking nuts. I'm trying to think what else is going on. What else is going on in this big old cesspool of a country? I watched the Vance debate. Or not debate. I watched the J.D. Vance, Tim Dillon interview, and I really enjoyed that. I also watched the Joe Rogan Trump interview. And I also watched the Fox Kamala interview. Kamala is like this. She kind of. I don't really like her. She doesn't come off like a person. She comes off like an AI or something. Like she doesn't even. She comes off like. She comes off. You ever seen Veep? If you've ever seen the show Veep, she literally comes off exactly the way Julia Louis-Dreyfus comes off in Veep, where she's like, "Oh, hello," and she like throws on like different accents and what? Go watch the show Veep and tell me that that's not Kamala. Tell me that that's not Kamala, because it really is. It really, really is. They really satirized her pretty well, pretty fucking well. Truly, it is. I don't know. I liked the Vance interview a lot. I didn't really know the Vance podcast, really. I think that these systems that and this was brought up in the Trump interview and also, or the Trump podcast and also the Vance podcast, Kamala's entire podcast was like, well, I'm not Trump. I'm not Trump. And if you want to be lectured by a woman who doesn't even know her own name, you should vote for me. If you want a woman who flipped on every single platform that I've had over the last 20 years, you can vote for me. I'm not Trump. That's her whole thing. That's an entire campaign. It's gross. I'm not Trump, and you could get an abortion. That's her entire thing. At least Trump advances. It's like, all right, protect free speech. Let's all calm it down. We don't want to get into a bunch of wars right now. Like, we gotta protect our country. We got, whatever. Not to get political. I don't have the capacity to really talk about that right now. But the one thing that I found that I liked was that both Trump and Vance have been going around and doing these podcasts which don't have financial interest in the election. Kamala has exclusively done interviews which have been pre-prepared. She's taken time off of work, off of doing her campaign to like study for these interviews that are owned by families like the Murdochs who have a lot of financial interest in the election. And that tells me that feels more manipulative than just like, you know, Trump going on Rogan or whatever. Anyway, one thing that I learned though that I thought was kind of fun was that they're doing trans surgeries for immigrants that are coming here illegally in the detention centers. They're having like trans surgeries for them. If they want, they get gender affirming care is what they call it. Isn't like the New York has turned into Gotham City. Like, the mayor's getting indicted. People are on fire. Chuck Schumer's at, like, the New York Liberty fucking parade. Like, he's like, this is a great day for women and for whatever. Chuck Schumer is, like, choking, like, little girls in the back of his pickup truck. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're like, you're pro the WNBA? Chuck Schumer doesn't even know what the WNBA stands for. Okay? He's too busy cutting deals with BlackRock in Ukraine. Him and Nancy Pelosi. They're too busy doing BDSM to each other and cutting deals with BlackRock. Okay? Chuck Schumer. The fucking New York Liberty. Do we need a parade for that? Is that necessary? The New York Liberty? I understand. I tried talking to this girl about it the other day. I understand you have a team and you worked really hard and you won and you should be proud of that. Yes. But not everybody should have to care. Okay? Not everybody should have to care. There shouldn't be some big fucking parade for you. What about, like, using all that money for the parade into, like, I don't know, creating housing for people that are living on the street? Like, I don't understand this massive parade. Like, we have a lot of real problems, and I get, be proud, you know? But guess what? Also, it's not my fault that you decided that your career was going to be in one of the least watched sports on the planet. Okay? I'm sorry that that's what you picked. I'm sorry you picked a sport that has a completely other sport with a different gender that is so much more entertaining than your sport. I'm sorry not everybody wants to watch a bunch of lesbians throw around a basketball. Okay? Women's football, that might be more fun. There's a little bit more, there's more fighting, there's more contact. You know, basketball, it's not fun to watch. My sister used to play basketball, and she used to do this thing where she'd kind of just run right up to the line, and then she'd stop, and then she'd jump and throw the ball. And, like, that's what I see, like, every single women's basketball game. It's like the shooting's bad, it's slow, it's not fun, the stadiums aren't packed. You know, these girls are making like $11,000 a year. What about this is entertaining? You decided to go into entertainment in like the least entertaining capacity on the planet. Okay? Sorry. Women's swim. Listen, at least women's swimming, it's like, I mean, some of the girls are kind of hot. I'm gay. I'm literally gay. And that is nicer to watch. I don't want you to see some big hulking dyke like dunk on a 7-foot net. Like, it's like it's not real. This isn't like reality. The people that are like supporting the WNBA, they're not living in reality. I understand that like there's equal rights and stuff, but hey, how about you come up with a sport that women are naturally better at than men and pick the most entertaining thing? Like, I don't know why it has to be copied after. Like, they try to say, oh, yeah, well, it's equal rights, you know, well, if men can do it, women can do it. Hey, wouldn't it be like, isn't it kind of anti-women's rights to like exclusively copy what men are doing? Like, why not just come up with your own shit that's better? Like, I don't think that just like saying like, oh, well, a man does that, oh, well now like women are gonna just copy what the men are doing and yeah, like that's the solution to the inequality. How about you come up with something that's interesting or something that people actually want to watch? Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Fuck Chuck Schumer. He was on that New York Liberty float. I saw it on the news. It was fucking insane. He was like, this is a great big day for women. And I stole one of the players and she's in the back of my Subaru. She's chained in the back of my Subaru. There's a great day for women. Woo! You know, like he looks like he goes. I'm trying to remember what the show is, where the rich guy goes and beats up homeless people for money. I can't remember exactly what the show is, but he looks like he does that. He looks like he goes over to Kensington, pays a guy $50 and beats the shit out of him. Or a woman, because he's so women's rights. Whatever. I remember what it was. Trans surgeries for the migrants, yeah. I kind of, you know, a lot of people are like, well, what the fuck, our tax dollar? I think that this is a unique opportunity for a new kind of border security. I really do. And what I think should happen is I think I think if you get caught at the border, it's a mandatory gender-affirming surgery. Mandatory. Like you come, imagine, you wouldn't need any border security at all. You wouldn't even need one person down there. If you get caught in this country, you have to get a gender-affirming surgery, okay? You have to. Absolutely have to. No one would come. Not one person would come. Not one person would come. Imagine you live in Mexico, and your entire life you're like, I wanna go to America, and you're just kind of washing your dishes or whatever. You're washing your dishes or whatever you're doing down there, and I'm gonna go to America, and you have a plan to sneak across the border the next day, and your wife comes in, and she goes, honey, did you hear what the new policy is? He goes, what? And she goes, a gender-affirming surgery. He goes, huh? And he goes, okay? And he goes, huh? And she goes, if you get caught there, they're going to cut off your dick. He would go, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm staying right the fuck here. He'd go, fuck that. Imagine you cross the border and you get caught, right? And they go, all right, Mr. Martinez, hi. Hi, I'm Stacy. I'm your case manager. I'm sure you're aware of the new policy. I'm sure that you're aware of the new policy. He goes, okay. And it's just kind of a chainsaw starts in the background. Goes, and she goes, so the new policy is that so everybody that comes across the border illegally has to get a gender-affirming surgery. He goes, huh? That would be amazing. No one would ever come here. No one would come here. You could fix the border in 2 seconds. It would cost significantly less money. Significantly less money to just, you would have like some hardened like cholos that like were like, you know what, fuck it. Like I gotta do what I gotta do. And like they're like hardened and like, but now they got like big tits. Which is also a win. I don't see how this is a loss. I don't see how giving migrants massive perfect tits is really a loss. I really can't see. I can't see the downside. Gender-affirming surgery is for everyone. That's where I stand on it. I stand on everybody getting the surgery if they get caught. If you get caught, you get clipped. Caught and clip. Catch and clip. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it the catch and clip. You get caught, you get brought into the detention center, you're like, all right, fuck. Well, now I gotta fucking, God, I'm like in a cage, whatever, I'm gonna get deported. And they go, ha ha ha. No. No. You see, actually, you're not getting... Good news, Mr. Martinez. You're not getting deported. And he goes, oh, great. Like, Amazing. This is great. So my family gets to stay? And they go, yeah. Here's the thing, though. Everybody in your family has to get a gender-affirming surgery. And it's mandatory that you get caught. And he goes, huh? And then everybody's gender flips. The wife becomes the husband becomes the wife. Everybody gets all fucking turned backwards and around. And you know what? That would be the most honest representation of this country. The American dream is dead. And by giving these people, I've kind of profoundly stumbled upon a profound idea that forcing everybody that crosses the border to get a gender-affirming surgery might be the most honest relationship that we have with the people that come here. Because that's what's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway. You're going to what? You're going to illegally sneak into New York, and your kids are going to get indoctrinated into this system of, like, liberalism that's so far left that it's fascist. And your kids are going to become trans anyway. Your kids are going to be trans anyway. Okay? At least get it over with, you know? You're all turning trans. Everybody that comes to this country turns trans. I don't know if you knew that. It's a fact. It's a little fact for you. Catch and clip. That's what I would do as president. Little catch and clip. You get caught, you get tits. That's what happens. You get caught, you get beautiful, perfect tits. That's what should happen. I saw the Puerto Rico joke that Tony Hinchcliffe made. The left is freaking out about this shit. It's fucking stupid. The Vance made a very good point when I saw the joke. It's like, guys, first of all, do you guys know, like, what Tony... Like, I read an article that was like, well, one of Trump's leaders made a joke calling Puerto Rico a pile of garbage. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, if you watch the... First of all, Tony Hinchcliffe, his entire job is to run the world's biggest open mic, which basically is if you don't know what an open mic is, it's where people go to try to make a joke funny. He runs the biggest open mic where people go to like drop the N-word occasionally. Like, it's like not a respectable thing. He's a comedian. He's trying to make a joke. People are trying to make people laugh. When people are trying to make people laugh, you're not supposed to take it seriously. The entire point of a joke is that it's not serious. That's the entire point. And what the left continues to do and continues to dig their grave deeper and deeper and deeper by, they keep doing this thing where like, it's like, well, your jokes aren't funny and they're serious and you think that Puerto Rico's a pile of garbage. Guess what? No one thinks that. Not even one person thinks that. People go there to vacation. I would love to go to Puerto Rico. I would fucking love to go to Puerto Rico. Okay? It'd be a goddamn dream. No one thinks that Puerto Rico's a pile of garbage, which is why it's funny to call it that. Okay? Also, the joke it's not even really that funny. If you watch the clip, no one laughs. It bombs. It's clearly a bomb. It's clearly a bomb. Okay? No one fucking laughs about that. Not one person laughed. I watched the entire thing. Not one person laughed at that. Okay? So enough. Stop with this like distortion of reality where you take a joke, something that was like kind of stupid, like innocent joke, whatever, that nobody laughed at, by the way, from a literal clown, and like acting like he's like, I don't know, the leader of the UN. Like, it's nuts. It's fucking crazy. I mean, it was an irresponsible thing to say. You know, I don't think it helped anybody, but like, it was clearly a joke. And I'm getting really tired of like the left, like just writing all of this like rhetoric that's like, oh, well, if he made the joke, you know, the Trump campaign, they think that this and this and this and this, and what about that? Hey, what about your plan? What about your plans for like what's going to happen to this country? Everybody's living in hell. You can't rob people of the one healthy coping mechanism for struggle, which is humor. Okay, you can't rob people of humor and their freedom of speech by like because it's you don't agree with it. You don't get to take that from people. It's the one healthy coping mechanism that this country has, is its humor. Truly. It's the only one that it's really the only healthy mechanism it has. I mean, besides that, like what other besides that, it's like the Sackler family and like a big Oxycontin pill. That's the other alternative. And no one wants to take that away. Kamala doesn't want to take that away. No one wants to take that away. No one wants to rein in Big Pharma, but we want to take away the jokes so that people can do more drugs and be more insane. Okay? The reason I do this show is so that I don't lose my fucking mind in the hell that I live in. That's the reason that I do this show. I don't do it because I'm not doing this because I believe any of the things that I say, or like, you know, I just do it to kind of satirize my reality so that way I don't lose my fucking mind. And that's what most of this country is doing when they're trying to make a joke. They're just trying not to lose their mind. And you don't get to take that coping mechanism away and distort reality. It comes off like a blatant manipulation. It's blatantly a manipulation. When you write an article that says, oh, well, Tony Hinchcliffe said this, and the Trump campaign believes this, you don't get to distort reality like that. People should be able to look for themselves, feel what they feel for themselves. And you know what? If someone says something racist, yeah, guess what? It's not the government's job to rein that in. It really isn't. It should be society's job. And the way that you facilitate changes in society is by keeping communication very much open and keeping ideas constantly flowing. You don't take that away. You don't block that off and take that away. You don't censor people so that way they can't, you know, they can't even, they're paying up the ass for rent. They could barely afford food. They're on food stamps. Their kids are on drugs. The one thing they have is like a fucking Corona 6-pack, a joint, and like a joke. You don't get to take away you don't get to take away the joke. Like, it's the wrong thing to be focused on. It's the wrong thing to be taking away. And it's a disgusting manipulation of reality to say that, oh, yeah, well, the Trump campaign believes that. The guy clearly was making, his literal job is to be a clown, and he's making a fucking joke. So get over it. And Vance put it really perfectly in he had another interview where he spoke on that. He put it kind of perfectly. And I'm not a big Trump guy, but after what I saw, I kept seeing people post this on Instagram. This is what okay. There's this guy, Nishant, who's like he's the like leader of I made friends with like 20 gays. You've heard it in the other episodes. He's like the queen bee of these gays. He literally in his stories and stuff, he calls his friends his subjects. Okay, he's I believe he's Indian. I believe that's his nationality, is that he's mostly Indian, and I think maybe a little like European. He has an Indian accent. Not an Indian accent. It's sort of like a mix between an Indian and English and American accent. It's kind of you kind of can't really put your finger on it. The point is, oh, excuse me. I think I have a cold or something. The point is, he's just like, he's an Indian guy, but he also is like super affluent. I mean, he's a millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. He works for the Hershey chocolate. He's basically Willy Wonka, if Willy Wonka was an Indian guy. He works for a chocolate factory. Okay, he works for Hershey. It's like an exec. And his entire job is like firing people over chocolate. Like it's like ruining people's lives over chocolate, and like trying to like make the Hershey company the most effective like cutthroat fucking thing. It's like the craziest shit. It's a cool job, whatever. He's sent me some stuff. We used to be a little closer. The gays kind of threw me to the side after I started actually speaking the way that I felt. But anyway, so here's what Nishant. But also his Instagram, he goes by Damien Knight, which is like a porn star name. He goes by Damien Knight. He's like Damien Knight. He's like, it's like a porn star name. Okay? So he goes, I'll read you just what he said. Last night, at Donald Trump's New York rally, a hand-picked comedian disparaged Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage. This vile comment is not only offensive, but underscores the deep-seated racism that has long plagued this country. Hey, what about the racism in India? Isn't there a lot of that? Isn't there a lot of Sunni Shiite shit over there? How about you fucking take a breath? As a first-generation immigrant and a gay person of color, I'm appalled and deeply wounded by such language. But I am driven to speak out, to use this moment to call not on just Latinx, Asian, Black, LGBTQI. First of all, Latinx, if you ask anybody in a Spanish country what the fuck Latinx is, they're like, what? That's like an American thing. It's like not even real. And immigrant community members, but men and women of conscience everywhere, to rise together, to put an end to the prejudiced leaders like Trump. Continue to enable. Tony Hinchcliffe is not a leader. He's a professional open micer. He runs an open mic, and he's a funny guy. He's a roast comic. I do like him. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. But he's not a leader that Trump enabled. Okay, he's a fucking comic that was like an opener for like the actual speech. Wasn't meant to be taken seriously. The United States was founded on ideals that cherish equality, justice, and freedom for all. Were they? What about slavery? Remember that? Wasn't the United States kind of built on slavery? Not saying that it's right, but it's just what he's saying. Yeah, okay, yeah. Founded on ideals that cherish equality. That's not true at all. Women couldn't vote until like the 50s. Okay? Remember suffragists? You fucking moron. Our Constitution begins with "We the people, a promise that America belongs to everyone, regardless of race, origin, or background." The 14th Amendment actually that's not. It doesn't promise that America belongs to everyone regardless of origin. It promises that America belongs to Americans. We the people. The people are Americans, by the way. The 14th Amendment enshrines equal protection under the law, demanding that no individual or group be degraded, demanded, or treated as less than because of who they are or where they come from. What about the First Amendment, pal? What about that one? These fundamental principles, the promise of respect, dignity, and inclusion, literally does not. There's no promise of inclusion or dignity or respect in our Constitution. There's just not. There is not a promise of that. There is a promise of rights, which Nishant, you've been you're kind of not really for free speech. Anyway, kind of more for censorship. Kind of going against what you're saying here. Which we hold sacred and must defend. When public figures like Trump or his allies resort to hateful language or to belittle entire communities, they violate not only the respect we owe each other, but the Constitution itself. Freedom of speech is a bedrock of American values, but our Constitution also requires us to hold accountable those who weaponize the right to spread hate, divide a nation, our nation and tarnish the dignity of our people. Okay, first, two things. One, making a joke about Puerto Rico is not dividing the nation, okay? Two, it's not spreading hate at all. It was a dumb joke. Spreading hate would be like if Trump went up and was seriously like, well, Puerto Rico's a garbage place. We're going to light that garbage pit on fire. That might be spreading hate, okay? Also, the Constitution does not allow like people to imprison people or rip them down for saying a dumb thing. That's the complete antithesis of the Constitution. The point is that you're supposed to be able to have ideas and disagree and, figure this shit out. I mean, life is hell. We're supposed to be figuring this shit out, not shutting people's words down. This moment must serve as a rallying cry. All of us who were ever felt the sting of discrimination and those of us who are lucky enough to have ever had to and needed to stand united. It's time to demand leadership that reflects our values as a nation and that honors its constitutional promise to all. Let us commit to vote, speak out, and to reject the intolerance that has been allowed to fester. Together we can forge an America that lives up to those ideals, a nation of respect, equality, justice for every citizen. Don't you have threesomes with white twinks like every other weekend? What the fuck are you talking about? Respect. You I can understand. I get the vibe of it. Like, yeah, maybe it was wrong and maybe you disagree with it. Say that though. What do you mean? Like, aren't you calling your friend? He's like a millionaire that lives in, he has a house and an apartment in the city and like, he's killing it and he's doing fine. He's not being oppressed. He's not fucking being oppressed. He's not oppressed. I'm sorry, but you're just not. It's just not the truth. It's just not. Okay? And when somebody makes a dumb joke about Puerto Rico, that's not ruining your life. Okay? You still go to work at the chocolate factory and make a couple mil. This is the problem with people that are these kind of like pseudo millionaire, decamillionaires. Like these kind of upper middle class people. They love the censorship and it comes from comfort. Nobody that's in a place of being uncomfortable gave a fucking shit about what Tony Hinchcliffe, what his stupid joke about Puerto Rico was. Nobody gives a shit about that, okay? It's the people that literally go to the club and do ketamine and fucking are drinking all the time and are like cracked out of their minds and, have a ton of money. It's those people that want to censor the people that actually are struggling and are actually being oppressed and are actually, having a fucking problem, okay? You don't get to take away people's right to express themselves, even if it's fucked up. Okay, yeah, it's society's responsibility to correct those things. Yeah, if you think that it's fucked up, say something. But you know what? It's also a joke. It also was a dumb joke, and no one laughed, and it bombed. Okay, a little context. Have a little bit of a brain, please. Please, for God, have a little bit of a brain. Nishan, you're fucking twinks every weekend. You have like these couples that come in and out of your circle. You're like having gay sex with these twinks all the time. Like what part of like inclusion is that? How about you fuck a twink that's like that's not white? How about that? Then we could talk about who's being inclusive and who's destroying this country. You're destroying this country. You're destroying these he's probably the reason there's so many demon twinks in Hell's Kitchen. He's destroying this goddamn country. I mean, people are sick. And then at the bottom he goes, Kamala Waltz 2024. They like literally want censorship, okay? And he like Nishant like pretends to care about abortions. You don't care about abortions at all. I feel like the whole gay thing, we've gone overboard. 2008, we got the right to get married. It should have really stopped there. There shouldn't be so many insane caveat. Like we just have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. For what? So that everybody can be like a sexually depraved gay man that like has sex with twinks all the time and like is delusional and drunk on money and power and wanting to censor people? That's insane. That's fucking insane. That I disagree with, and I think that that's insane. And I would say, and you know what, Nishant, if you're listening to this, I would say it to your face, and I would love to have a conversation about this because it doesn't make sense to me, and I'm for having an open conversation about things that I disagree on. Okay, I'm for that. But you know what? You know what these gays will do? They'll go, They go, well, fuck you, you bigot pig. And then it'll be blocked. Blocked. You're not in my, I can't see you, I can't hear you, la 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 la, I can't hear you, la 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 la. It's like what, and I'm not doing that because he's Indian, but it's like la 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 la, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. It's the same mentality of like a child that's like, I can't hear you, la 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 la. I want to fuck twinks and fire people at the chocolate factory, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, can't hear you. I'm not touching you. La 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 la. It's the most annoying fucking people that are like on this like Kamala wave. I can't hear you. God, I would love to actually have a conversation, but he'll never do that. He'll never hit me up and be like, "Hey, let's actually talk about this." He'll go, "You white racist bigot pig." And guess what? That's exactly what Kamala supporters are doing. That's exactly what Kamala is trying to do to Trump. It's not a way to facilitate any kind of a change. It creates more oppression, and that creates more violence, and it destroys our society at the very fabric that it was sewed together with. Okay? That's what happens. And I don't understand why. And, I can understand why people that are living very, very comfortably in their multi-million-dollar apartment and house with, a roster of twinks that they could fuck all the time. I can understand why they would think that they can form reality to their standards, but there's also other people living here, and a lot of them are living in hell, and you can't take away the one vice that's unhealthy, the one coping mechanism that's unhealthy. You can't take that away from people. I'm sorry, it just can't happen. It just can't, and it's not the government's responsibility to censor people. That's taking away a right. I'm sorry. And he said this moment is to serve as a rallying cry. A rallying cry for what? Are you going to form a militia and go murder Tony Hinchcliffe? What the fuck is the rallying cry for? To go pop your pussy for Kamala? She's a goddamn clown. She can't answer a question. I watched the Fox interview. She doesn't answer one fucking question, and she flips on every single thing that she's been recorded saying in the news. Okay? People are dying in this country because, like, there's so many bigger issues. Like, people are dying. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, Nishant, but what are you contributing to that's, like, helping this country? Nothing. You're going to the Gucci store, you're going to hardware, getting fucked up, and whatever. That's fun. It's fine. Have fun. I'm not saying that that's wrong. But you don't get to, like, why are you posting? You're posting a multi-paragraph thing to, like, create a rallying cry, but then, like, you're gonna go to, like Monster or Goblin or whatever the fuck these dumb gay clubs in the Village are called now, and, like, go fuck a white twink. Like, you're a hypocrite. You're kind of a hypocrite. I don't know that I agree with it. Whatever. If he hears this, I would love to talk about it. I'll have him on the show. He is an interesting guy, and I do like him. But I thought that the post was a little bit much. And a lot of times, and I'm calling it now, he's not going to want to deal with me if he disagrees with me, because most gays don't. And, I would hope that he has more of a brain than that. I really would. Because I would like to discuss it a little bit more with him. He comes off very left, but he is also a smart guy. But I don't know. I don't think he's ever coming on the show. Sorry. Don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to block me when he hears this. Call me a white bigot pig. Whatever. What do you want me to do? Apparently I'm Baphomet. Apparently I'm I'm lording over hell. Apparently I'm a demon from hell. Whatever. He calls people his subjects. His husband's like a white southern like Georgian gay that's like, I've heard say a lot of racist shit too. So, I mean, But also when his husband has said stuff that's like off color, his husband's making a joke and people let that slide because it's a joke. People let that slide because it's a fucking joke. Which is like the opposite of his reaction to like this fucking Tony Hinchcliffe thing, which was insane. It's insane. It's a distortion of reality. And I'm sorry that these a lot of millionaires, these like pseudo decamillionaires, want to like have reality, like form reality to like their standards. And I'm sorry, but there's other people living here, and that's not the way that it works. Words mean things. People have thoughts. It's not the way it works. Okay. It's not Uncle Sam Uncle Sam's responsibility to shut people up. He's already raping and murdering people. Uncle Sam literally already rapes and murders people. And now he's got to gag them too? I gotta get gagged while I get raped and murdered by my Uncle Sam? I can't even crack a joke while I get my fucking asshole ripped into by our country, by Uncle Sam? I can't get DP'd by Uncle Sam and Joe Biden. I can't get my ass fucked by Uncle Sam, okay? And crack a joke. I can't be like, oh my god, I'm bleeding, but, knock knock. Who's there? Uncle Sam's fucking my ass. I mean, I've never done an episode this long. I'm kind of losing it. I'm kind of losing my fucking mind right now. Okay. I have a couple other things to talk about, and then we'll get out of here. I mean, what are you gonna do? Everybody's so fucking nuts. Can President Xi send the nuke? I'm actually for my Chinese nationalist teacher now destroying this country. Can President Xi send the fucking nuke, please? For God, can this just be done? Can this just be done? God, I hope White Heaven's as fun as Black Heaven is. White Heaven, to me, is like a bingo table. White Hell is just Black Heaven. And Black Heaven is just a block party. And I wish I could fucking go to the block party. I've never been invited to the block party. I wonder why. I would like to be invited. I do like culture. And I like culture, too. That's the other thing. Everybody calls me like I got called a white racist pig by this other gay guy that I threatened to scalp. But after he tried to sexually blackmail me. I'll get into that in a sec. But I do like culture. I like trying new food. I like this. I like stuff. I like trying new things and seeing new things. I don't like the idea that everybody has to be cool with everything. I think it flattens people and makes everybody really boring. And I don't like the idea that every culture needs to have some kind of standard based on what we feel in America. I think that flattens people. I think that creates a lot of hate, and I don't think I think that creates more discourse than it does freedom, which is what we stand for in this country. I don't know why we're so hell bent on forming society to be in our image in other places. I mean, more socially, and especially in New York City. A lot of people believe that that everywhere should be completely tolerant. I don't. I actually don't. So, there's certain places that you shouldn't be allowed in. There's clubs. There's certain private clubs. I walked around the other day. I went to this one club. I was like, hey, what's in here? And he was like, private club, guest list only. Okay? Certain clubs you're not supposed to be let into. There's certain things that are private and for other cultures, other people. I'm not for tolerance across the board. I'm really not. Part of me likes knowing that there's some places in the Middle East that are like, you know what? No, we're not cool with being gay, and we have a different way of doing things. I think it makes people a lot more interesting. Now, I don't think that hate should really exist. I think we gotta kind of chill out with that. But people are allowed to believe different things, and people are allowed to have ideologies that maybe are not kosher with yours. Okay? I don't know what my point was. I started texting this twink. Well, first of all, let me tell you how I met this kid. His name's Aiden Tracy. So come sue me, you fucking coward. His name's Aiden Tracy. He is literally like a white... His name's Aiden Tracy. How am I supposed to know that he's not a white guy? He's a fucking white guy. He literally is a white guy. He's like the whitest person that I've ever seen. He looks like every white twink I went to school with. I've been trolling on Instagram a lot. This kid... I'm going to read you some texts. And you tell me who's wrong. Okay? This white devil has conversations with me. Okay? If I can fucking find it. Where is it? It's probably my screenshots. Alright, hold on a second. Where are the screenshots? Okay, there they are. Alright. So, whatever. I'm in class. I send him a nude. Because we were kind of talking. First of all, the way that he met me I usually shave my head and stuff because I'm balding, not because I'm a fascist pig. It's because I'm balding. I was like, I dress cute, whatever. He came up to me. His friend actually came up to me because he's a pussy. His friend came up to me and was like, my friend thinks you're cute. My friend thinks you're cute. She was also white. I'm not doing an accent. Relax. She goes, my friend thinks you're cute. Like, can we tell like that? And I kind of turned around. I was like, well, you could tell your friend to put on his big boy pants and come over here and talk to me like an adult, okay? Like, are you nuts? Whatever. But I didn't say that because I'm cool. When I first meet people, I don't off the bat attack them. So I'm like, okay, sure. Let me meet your friend. He comes up. He's like, I think like your shirt is like cute. I was like, thanks, man. Like, you too. Cool. Like, what's your name? And I shook his hand, and I was like, cool, and I just talked to him. But then in the text, he texts me like every fucking twink on Grindr text, where it's like, you top or bottom, and I'm like, verse, you. He's like, same. WYD. And I'm like, oh, just at school and doing some stuff. I got some homework and stuff to do. And he goes, I go, what are you up to? He goes, NM, you? And I'm like, okay, I just sent you my cock. Can you send something back? What are we doing here? I'm going to show you mine and you're not going to show me yours? What the fuck is wrong with you? So whatever. I was just like, whatever. He was like, so I sent him a nude, whatever, like a flirty little nude. It wasn't even anything that vulgar. And so, he just kept getting dry in the text. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I text him, actually, you know what? I'm good. You got dry energy. I know what I want. And he goes, bitch, the fuck? And I go, you're a dry ass texter. It feels like I'm on Grindr. And he goes, dry energy equals not sending nudes? No. I'm not pressuring you to send me a naked picture of yourself, okay? I would like a little bit of substance in the conversation that I'm having with you, not NMU, IKR, WYD. Do we speak in acronyms here? Are you a toddler? What's going on? So I said, nah, just the response is, I wish you well. And he calls me a freak. He goes, first of all, this kid's studying fashion at FIT, okay? So he's like studying how to like cut fabric or something. I don't know, how to use scissors. He goes, I dodged a bullet. Have a good one, freak. And so I go, enjoy your fake career, you clown. And he goes, your dick's small. Who hurt you? I literally just said same. First of all, I'm fine, okay? I got 2 out of the 3 6s. 6 inches, 6 feet, 6 figures. I'm working on the 6 figures, okay? I'm doing just great down there, all right? My dick's not small. Sorry not everybody has a fucking horse cock, okay? I'm pushing 7 inches. We're good. So I said, imagine thinking cutting fabric into shorts isn't a hobby. Sad. Trump 2024, hope he puts you in a cage. And he goes, okay, I just dodged a nuke. Yikes. Is it because you're bald? And then he swipes up on me saying, imagine thinking cutting fabric into shorts isn't a hobby. And he goes, you don't even know what I do, with like the crying, laughing emoji. And so I go, oh, I forgot. You're studying particle physics under the tutelage of Elon Musk. You play with fabric. He goes, you're crazy. And I go, sober up, clown. He goes, go to the psych ward and grow some hair, you bald-ass bitch. And so I go, I have pancreatic cancer. And he goes, thank God. And so I just swipe up and I go, Allah, with like the star. So he's like, okay, bye. And then he texts me, I have your nudes now. Be scared. Okay? So he's literally trying to sexually blackmail me. All right? So then I start losing my fucking mind. So I go, sending around... Oh, yeah. And then he swipes up and goes, white gays are the scum of the earth. Hey, guess what, Aiden? You're literally white. You're white, okay? I know you might be like a 16th Spanish, and apparently that makes you Don Quixote. But you're fucking white, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry to break it to you that you're not as oppressed as you hoped to be. You fucking nut. He goes, white gays are the scum of the earth. And I go, sending around a gay Muslim cancer survivor's nudes is a great look. Keep killing it, baby gorgeous. I just DM'd Hibotullah Akandaza your Insta. And if you guys don't know who that is, that's the leader of the Taliban. He goes, you're crazy. And I go, and bitch, you're white studying fashion. You're not oppressed or an altruistic person. You're a sad clown. And he goes, you sent me your nudes with no warning. And so I go, and you liked it, faggot. That's why you sent me the hearts. You sent me hard eyes. You liked it. When I sent you my cock, you liked it. Okay? Don't get fucking mad at me that you're gay. Sorry. I'm cool with being gay. You're not. So I go, you might want to check your morals. And he goes, your meds aren't working, sweetie. And I go, but my Glock is. Better pray I don't catch you outside. And he goes, bitch, I'll cut you. So I go, damn, my King Von gif won't send. Picture King Von smiling. You get the point. And he goes, I don't. You're crazy. And so I go, okay, actually, this was fun. And I've come back around. I actually like you again. You want to get food tonight? And he goes, no. You're a racist white demon pig, bald. And so I go, call me Baphomet the way I demonize the pussy. And he goes, more like Baldphomet. And I go, I have cancer. What should I do about the hair? Scalp you and take yours? And I go, it actually is not a bad idea. And he goes, I hope the cancer does you in. And so I said, would you say you have more wavy or straight hair? I just want to make sure I get the right animal products to nourish my new hair with. And then after that, he sent me something that was really funny. He just sent me like a picture of like someone's wrist with a knife to it. And so I started dying laughing. So he basically told me to kill myself. And I was like, you know what? So after that, he was like, I'm blocking you now. I'm going to block you. Because that's what gays do when they don't win the argument and they don't realize that they're being trolled. Because they're fucking morons. He goes, I'm going to block you now. But then he texted me back like 6 different times. Like, okay, yeah, how's the blocking going? And I go, so I lightened up at the end because it was like I had to go to class. I was like, all right, I did threaten to kill him. He's actually tried to sexually blackmail me. I scalped him, tomato. Or I threatened to scalp him, tomato. What do you want to do? And so I go, it's fine. I was trolling, by the way. I got no issue with you. On a serious note, gonna unfollow. And he calls me bald and then calls me a racist fuck again. Tells me he hopes the cancer gets me. Whatever. But fuck that kid. Aiden Tracy, you fucking clown. Hear me right now, you goddamn clown. You go to a school that's a fake school to cut fabric and play with fucking colors, okay? Are you a toddler? You're retarded. You play with colors, and also you claim to I'm a bald racist fuck. You're Jeffrey Epstein. You're literally Jeffrey. You're trying to sexually blackmail me? You're Jeffrey Epstein. What the fuck is that? You're gonna try and be like the moral police? Like the moral police to me? I was trolling you, you moron. It's called a joke. It's called joking, okay? And yeah, I might have threatened to shoot you with a Glock that I don't have, and I might have said I was gonna scalp you and take your hair and use animal products to nourish it. But, hey, at least I'm not Jeffrey fucking Epstein, okay? You goddamn clown. Telling me to kill myself. It would be funny if I was, like, found dead with, like, a suicide note. Like, I, like, didn't kill myself, but it was, like, they said I killed myself. That would be funny after I call him Epstein. He, like, sends, like, the Mossad to come get me. Your name's Aiden Tracy. You're a white bitch. Sorry, you're a white bitch. You're not Don Quixote, all right? You're a white bitch. You're a white coward bitch. And also, I was trolling you, you fucking lunatic. Try to sexually blackmail me. I'm good. Send the nudes out. What else could this world possibly take from me? Send my fucking cock out. I don't care. Think I give a fuck. Whatever. I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. Sorry that your nose almost touches your chin, Aiden. You goddamn clown. Maybe you get the nose job. How about that? How about you get a little nose job? Maybe get a fake tan. Maybe then people will believe you're actually Spanish. Fucking clown. Anyway, I did a little bit more trolling as well. On a similar note, there's a company called Really, okay? And what Really is a company that is like I guess a wireless company. I don't know why all these wireless companies, they're like, we have the best coverage and the fastest coverage. And then, like, you know how they always show the picture of America with, like, Verizon will do, like, red, where, like, it'll show the coverage. And then AT&T will do blue, where they show the coverage. So Really does black, where they show the coverage. And so, like, they're like, we're actually America's fastest #1 5G network, which, like, they all lie and say that they are. I don't even know what the fuck that means. So there's this post that I saw on Instagram where it just said America's largest and fastest 5G network. Okay? Just an ad. All the comments were like, I love Really Wireless. Really Wireless is amazing. Oh my god, Really works so well. Really's really good. Really. You know, Really's legit AF. I use it. So I wrote, the CEO of Really raped me in the back of a Jollibee. I asked him about the fastest networks, and he said that he could show me, even in the cement-lined bathroom, that the phone would still be able to make TikToks. He then invited me into the unisex bathroom to do the Renegade Challenge before striking me in the throat and pinning me to the floor. For 7 hours, he sodomized me, screaming at the top of his lungs, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, saying that it was his way of getting back at AT&T. When I told him that he was singing the McDonald's theme song and not the ba-ba, that's the AT&T noise, he slammed my head into the floor and shoved his iPhone 16 into my ass. I still quiver at the marimba ringtone to this day. And so I screenshotted that, and then I posted that on my story. But before I posted it, I at the top, I just like made like a big thing that said, if you're not voting Kamala, kill yourself. Okay? All of the retarded gays that I know, all of the gays that are like literally have no brain in their head because they've drank it all away. They've curdled their brain in a like lychee martini soup. Okay, all of these gays started swiping up. One of them, the Austrian gay guy, swiped up. He was like, "This is so important, Phil. Thank you for posting this." I was like, "You clearly didn't read the paragraph where I talked about getting fucking raped." So funny. All these other gays, they're like, so important. Like somebody swiped up and gave like clapping emoji. Like another person swiped up. It was like my friends that actually read the paragraph that were like, oh, dude, what? But like all these dumb gays that like I kind of made friends with, or was friendly with, they were never really my friends though. They just kind of wanted to use me because I'm young or ish, I guess. I don't know. But they all swiped up and they were like, this is so important. I'm glad you're joining the team. Like shit like that. And I was like, you guys like did not even like what? You guys did not even read the thing. I thought that I bought a Kamala shirt because I thought that, you know, in the 80s, a lot of people, what they would do is they would go outside in New York City and they would pretend to be insane so that they didn't get robbed. So I had an idea, a brilliant idea, of if I wear a Biden hat that says I'm voting for Biden 2024 and then I wear a Kamala shirt, like people will think I'm so political that they won't want to talk to me and I just don't have to deal with anybody. I thought it was kind of giving me like a little bit of social protection. Turns out, not the case. Okay? I go into a furniture store on Fifth Avenue because it looked cool. It was a French furniture store. And I don't hate everything the French do. I just think that they smell like shit and that they're slobs on the ferry. I go in to the store. There's a French lady and an Asian lady that's working there. And I kind of am looking around and she goes, "Oh, I like your shirt. I like your shirt. A good shirt." She goes, "I like your shirt." And like, this already happened 2 other times that day where like somebody walked by me and they were like, "Cool shirt." And I had to go like, yeah, cool shirt. Kill yourself. Fuck off. Like, great shirt. How about you shut up? Stop fucking talking to me. Don't you have a job? Anyway, I walk into the furniture store. The lady, she's like, "Oh, it's a great shirt. It's a great shirt. Oh, yes. Oh, well, at least it's not the other one." Oh. Hey, you Euro trash. You can't even vote in this fucking country. So how about you shut your mouth? You have no idea who's coming in here to buy your shitty French furniture, which, by the way, looks disgusting. By the way, the furniture in that store is fucking disgusting. It looks like a toddler made it, okay? It's gross. I went in there because I thought one thing was cool, which was like this like weird blob chandelier that looks like the like roots from the Upside Down and Stranger Things that grew through, you know, Will's house. It was like, oh, that's kind of like weird. Kind of like that. I don't know. Like went in there. I like to go into stores and look at shit. What I don't like is when people are like, "Oh yeah, like cool shirt. Oh, you're also voting Kamala? Oh yeah, we're gonna drink the poison punch together and float off into the apocalypse in this French fucking store, and we could suck each other off and all become trans." Such a fucking nightmare. Everybody wants this country to be hell. I'm sorry that I don't. I'm sorry that I don't want my country to be hell. But apparently everybody does. Everybody else does. Everybody wants this country to be a fucking shit show slob fest where I have to go, where everywhere I go, I gotta get talked to like I'm a child that I don't know, like I'm a toddler that like pushed in his seat all the way. Where it's like, "Oh, good job, kid. Good shirt, great shirt." I should have just said, when that woman said that to me, I should have just said, "I have a fucking gun. I have a big fucking gun. Shut your mouth, whore." That's what I should have said to her. That's what I absolutely should have fucking said to her. She'd been like, "Oh, you have a great shirt. At least it's not the other guy." Oh, like, hey, Hey, I got a big box cutter in my pants pocket, and I'm gonna skin your face off and wear it as my own. I should have said that to her. I should have said that right into her ear. I should have whispered that right into her ear. Oh, man. I'm not going to Thanksgiving ever again. I'm not doing it. I'm going to go to the one this year. I think I'm far enough removed from my family where I can go to the Thanksgiving this year. If you have issues with your family, this is what you should do. You should take 2 years off of Thanksgiving. Come back the third year when you're 2 years removed from it, and just go and just kind of watch. Just don't drink, don't do any substances. Just go and just kind of watch the way that these people act and make a judgment on how much of this you are willing to participate in your life. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go to the Thanksgiving. I'm going to watch all my cousins get wasted. My cousin that just had a stroke is probably going to get trashed. Because he actually cares about his health, actually. That's why he, smokes an eighth every night and drinks a fucking bottle of wine. He literally called me and told me that he did that one time. He called me and he's like, listen, man, I drink a whole bottle of wine and just smoke a little cigarette and, I smoke a cigarette and a whole eighth and I drink a bottle of wine and my life is great. Yeah, it's really great. That's why you had a stroke. It's really great. That's why you had a stroke at 39. It's really fucking great. Really cool life. Sick life, man. Sick life. Anyway, forgot what I was saying. I'm not going to Thanksgiving again, I don't think. I think I'm going to go one last time just to kind of make an evaluation of why I should never go again. And, I'm talking to my mom about it. My mom tries to silence me. She's like, Phil, you can't, when I went to my sister's graduation, she goes, Phil, Phil, there's no, certain things are off the table. She has a conversation with me every time we go to a family thing. She goes, things are off the table. Phil, you don't get to talk about terraforming planets in your own image. That's off the table. And I go, okay. And she goes, you don't get to talk about Nancy Pelosi and how she's a demon witch that sodomizes Chuck Schumer. And I go, okay, all right. Anything else you want me not to talk about? She goes, you can't, there's no talking about politics. There's no talking about politics. I'm like, all right, but you know what? If they start with me, I'm starting with them. So, that's the deal. But mommy likes her baby quiet. Mommy likes her baby quiet. Mommy likes her baby quiet. Even if she has to shake her baby to fucking death to get him to shut up. Mommy likes baby quiet. Okay? Baby's got to be quiet at Thanksgiving. It's got to be quiet. But guess what, Lisa? Not a baby anymore. And I'm going to be loud as fuck at this Thanksgiving. So, strap in. Strap in, faggots. I'm coming to Thanksgiving. Bunch of slobs. Gonna suffer through one more, and then it's done. Done. It's it. It's over. It's it. Oh, man. Okay. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah. Okay. I got one more thing here, and then we'll wrap up, all right? So I'm looking for apartments. I just got scabbed out of one I just said. There's one guy that's, you know what, actually I'm gonna save this one actually for next week, because I have to go anyway. I gotta go visit my cousin that had a stroke and pretend like I care. I do care to a degree. But, when I was homeless and living in the fucking street, I wasn't living in the street, I was in a shelter. But when I was really going through it, he didn't give a fuck about me. So, it's like, how much can I really care? I'll show up, though. Because I show up for people. I do. I show up for people that I disagree with. And that's the main difference between people that have a brain in their head and people that are just parroting off of society and, this weird echo chamber of, oh, well, I'm gonna, do what I have to do to stay with my friends and, this kind of childish mentality. I don't really have a childish mentality. I care about myself now, and I care about my country, and I'm starting to care again. And that's why I spew hate. It's because I care. It's because I care. That's why I do it. That's why I do this show. It's because I care about all of you. I care about the 6 people that listen to this. I do, deeply. I'm deeply invested. I'm deeply invested. And that's why we're going to switch over to Patreon for half of the episodes, because if I'm actually deeply invested in you guys, like, I need you guys to be like financially invested, like, in me, because it's an unfair relationship. It's kind of like pulling out of the Paris Accords. Like I'm like kind of footing the bill for like societal warming. Like, you know how like global warming, there's like also societal warming where like people just get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter on like these like issues that don't really matter. And I'm kind of footing the bill for that by like coming here and like trying to put you all back into perspective. And I just think that it's unfair and that I should be compensated, which is why we're moving half the show to Patreon. The show on Patreon will be called What Are We Doing? I'm not kidding about that. And it's because I care. It's because I care. It's not because I'm I can't afford water or toilet paper and I need money. It's because I care. I care. And I'll be living out of a car not because I'm poor, but because I lead a libertarian lifestyle and I believe in owning assets. I believe in owning things. I don't want to rent. I believe in owning. And that's what I'll tell the cops as they throw me in the back of the car. I'll go, I'm leading a libertarian lifestyle. It's a libertarian They're like, sir, you're smoking pot in your car and it's illegally parked. I'm leading a libertarian lifestyle, you fucking Nazi pig.
Good night.
God, how the fuck do I fucking end this shit? Oh my God.